I'm Snow White, and you're watching Extinction Files on the Hayden Hansen Company channel.
Hello, I'm Araga.
And I'm Hayden. Welcome back to Extinction Files. Today, we're investigating the disappearance of the Denisovans. These guys were thriving for tens of thousands of years, and then poof, they disappeared. It's like they packed their bags and left human history without saying goodbye.
Maybe they saw where things were heading and decided to leave before things got bad.
Honestly, wouldn't blame them. Who were the Denisovans? Before we start playing detective, let's talk about who the Denisovans actually were. They were an ancient human species that lived around 200,000 to 50,000 years ago, closely related to Neanderthals.
So, like, Neanderthals' long-lost cousins?
Pretty much. If human evolution was a family reunion, Neanderthals and Denisovans would be the two quiet uncles off in the corner, while Homo sapiens are the loud ones taking over the barbecue.
And I assume at some point, all these relatives started sharing more than just fire-starting techniques?
Yeah. We know Denisovans and Neanderthals met up and had families together, and early humans did the same thing. In fact, some people alive today, especially in parts of East Asia, Melanesia, and Australia still, carry Denisovan DNA.
Wait, so if you have Denisovan DNA, does that mean you're part caveman?
Technically, yeah. Some scientists think Denisovan genes even helped certain modern populations adapt to high altitudes, like the Tibetan people.
So you're telling me I might be able to climb Mount Everest without gasping for air, all thanks to some distant Denisovan ancestor?
Evolution is weird, Araga.
But also kind of awesome.
Moving on. All right, now for the big question. What happened to them? Theories of their extinction. Theory 1, climate change. The silent disaster. First up, climate change.
Wow, even prehistoric humans couldn't catch a break.
Nope. The Denisovans lived during the last ice age, which was already tough. But around 50,000 years ago, the climate started changing fast. Ice sheets expanded, forests shrank, and food sources disappeared.
So basically, their grocery store shut down, and they had to figure out a whole new way to survive?
Exactly. Some scientists think they just couldn't keep up and slowly faded away.
So nature just unsubscribed from them?
Yep, the ultimate cancellation. Theory 2, the Neanderthal problem. Now, here's where things get complicated. The Neanderthal theory.
Oh, we got drama?
We got drama. Denisovans and Neanderthals were close cousins, but they probably weren't the best of friends. They lived in overlapping areas, so they would have been competing for food, shelter, and resources. And when two species are fighting over the same land, things don't usually end well.
This is some HGTV. Prehistoric edition kind of conflict?
Scientists think Neanderthals may have had better hunting skills or larger groups, which could have given them the advantage. If food was scarce, that might have pushed the Denisovans out.
Or, hear me out maybe, the Denisovans were just peaceful and didn't want to deal with all that competition.
That would be the first recorded case of someone choosing peace over conflict in human history.
Yeah, you're right. They probably got outmatched. Theory 3. The human takeover history repeats itself. All right, you knew this was coming? Maybe we were the reason they disappeared.
Of course we were.
It's a pattern. Every time early Homo sapiens show up somewhere, another human species seems to vanish.
Like when a giant chain store moves into a neighborhood, and suddenly all the small businesses start shutting down.
Pretty much. Humans were smarter, better at adapting, and probably more organized. We had better tools, better hunting strategies, and we traveled in larger groups. If we ran into Denisovans, it's possible we outcompeted them for food, land, and resources.
So Homo sapiens were the original bad guys of history?
Not the best look for us.
We've been causing problems since day one.
Theory 4. The blending theory. They never really left. Now, this is where things get interesting. What if the Denisovans didn't go extinct at all? What if they just blended into other populations?
You're saying they didn't vanish? They just became part of us?
Exactly. DNA evidence shows that Denisovans passed on their genes to certain human groups. Some scientists think they weren't completely wiped out, they just became part of modern human populations over time.
This is the least tragic extinction story ever.
Right? Imagine you're an ancient Denisovan thinking your people are disappearing. But then thousands of years later, humans in Tibet and Southeast Asia still have Denisovan DNA helping them adapt to their environment.
So instead of a dramatic downfall, they just faded into history, quietly.
It's possible. Instead of being wiped out, they just became part of the larger human family tree.
That's actually kinda nice, the verdict. So, after looking at all the evidence, what's your final verdict?
I think the Denisovans were just introverts who didn't want to deal with Neanderthals or humans, so they stayed quiet and eventually disappeared.
That is not a scientific theory.
Look, sometimes it's easier to just blend in and not get involved. If anything, the Denisovans were the true masterminds of history.
Okay, well, personally, I think it was a combination of climate change, competition, and blending. Some Denisovans probably did disappear, but their genes live on in modern humans.
So, in a way, they won.
I wouldn't call going extinct winning, but sure.
They live on in our genes, and I respect that. A silent victory.
And with that, until next time, folks, stay weird and keep an eye out for the next prehistoric cryptid mystery.
What extinct animal would you like to see next? Comment below.